Good morning, Spiritual Life Center. Welcome to the SLC Sunday Experience. We're so glad you're with us today. We want you to know that you are in the right place at the right time, and your soul is welcome here, right, Ann?
That's right. Just where you are meant to be, whether you are live, streaming, or here in person, we are going to sing about how we are all welcome here. Let's do it.
I'm in the right place at the right time. I am just where I am meant to be. I'm in the right place at the right time. I am just where I am meant to be.
In the right place.
I'm in the right place at the right time. I am just where I am meant to be. I'm in the right place at the right time. I am just where I am meant to be. Oh, my soul is welcome here. Oh, my soul is welcome here. I am getting the message loud and clear. My soul is welcome here.
My soul is welcome. Your soul is welcome. All souls are welcome here.
I'm in the right place at the right time. I am just where I am meant to be. I'm in the right place at the right time. I am just where I am meant to be. Oh, my soul is welcome here. Oh, my soul is welcome here. I am getting the message loud and clear. My soul is welcome. Oh, my soul is welcome. Oh, my soul, your soul, his soul, her soul, our souls are welcome here. I am getting the message loud and clear. My soul is welcome.
I'm getting the message.
I am getting the message loud and clear. My soul is welcome. My soul is welcome here.
Put your hands together.
My soul is welcome.
Your soul is welcome.
My soul is welcome.
Our souls are welcome.
My soul
You're welcome here. You're welcome here. You're welcome here. You're welcome here. Oh, everybody's welcome. I am getting the message loud and clear. My soul is welcome here.
Woo!
All right. Good morning, Reverend Deborah. Good to see you once again this morning, and all the souls that are welcome here today.
And good morning, Reverend James. And it's an honor to be sharing the platform with you this morning. We started early. We greet you this morning in the name of all that is good, all that is holy, and all that is sacred, and in the warm and loving energy of this community, Spiritual Life Center. Spiritual Life Center honors all people worshiping in temples, mosques, churches, stone circles, and the beautiful temples of nature, because we know that there is no space that God does not grace. And if you are with us for the very first time, either online or here in person, we especially want to welcome you, because we know that you are not here by accident. Every one of us is here by
Divine appointment.
And we're so happy, very happy to see you today. And we're even happier when you silence your electronic devices, and please refrain from flash photography during the service. Thank you.
Well, each year between the anniversary of the deaths of Mahatma Gandhi and Martin Luther King, we honor and acknowledge the principles of both of these men in a season for nonviolence. And one of the things that we do is have a member of our community to share a reading that supports some of the principles that we believe in and that they promoted during their lifetime. And this morning, we're going to have a reading from McAdams. And I think I would, when I saw Mac earlier, I said, now, do I need to salute? I mean, but he's just Sergeant Major. Would that, yes, I mean, a very high-ranking individual.
Thank you. Today I'm aware of how my actions affect others. Mother Teresa said, kind words can be short and easy to speak, but their echoes are endless. Our thoughts, words, and our actions are creative activities. But what do they create? Today, Blessed Spirit, let me be aware of the power of my words. Let my words, as well as my actions, be only positive, enriching and uplifting to all those who cross my path. Today, I offer myself to be in service to you by aligning my actions with your will of the highest good of all. Jesus taught us, love your neighbor as yourself. One of the greatest commandments. Let me express my true nature of a child of God by allowing divine love to shine forth from within me, blessing all those whose lives I touch today. Today is March 26. March 26, 1968, I got drafted into the Army. This was the first time I put that uniform on, and needless to say, it was kind of traumatic for a 7-year-old.
And we believe you.
And I touched a lot of lives in this 55 years. I served 41 years, 8 months, 11 days on total federal service. And then California has a state military reserves, and I served 10 years in the state military reserve, working the fires in 2012 and 14. Thank you. Part of that time, I was the first sergeant for OCS, Officer Candidate School, making sure that the leaders of tomorrow had the ability to have the true understanding of doing what was right, even though no one was watching. In the last week or so, I had the opportunity to go to West Point and speak to classes there. I have to thank my son by marriage, Major Matthew McClary, for allowing me to speak to his classes. I was his mentor when he was in high school, and he wanted to join the Army. And so 20 plus years has passed since now he's Special Forces, and he's shipping out this coming month to Poland with 6 Special Forces teams. These are the years of service, and that's 39 there, but I kind of count those as the weddings, the birthdays, the anniversaries that I missed. One of the things that I want to thank Spiritual Life Center for is assisting in my transition from warrior to peacekeeper, and now I feel like I'm the shepherd dog, you know? It's been, sometimes when you leave the war doesn't leave you, you know? And a lot of us have that remorse, survivor's remorse. And once again, I want to thank Spiritual Life Center for assisting me in my transition.
Thank you. Thank you so much. Thank you. That was a wonderful testament to, I think, what principles of what we teach can make a difference in lives. And to thank you, Sergeant Major, for your contribution, your presence, and that profound sharing. One of our purposes here at Spiritual Life Center is really carry out our purpose. And that's reflected in our mission statement And let's say that together as we take in not only Adam's words, but also our own as we speak these words aloud. To transform lives as we love, serve, and remember. And we carry that mission out as we live to the best of our ability these 5 basic universal principles that we believe in. Let's again speak them aloud. God is absolute good and everywhere present. People are inherently good. Thoughts create our experiences. Prayer and meditation are how we connect with God.
And we must take action. And the action continues on Wednesday nights. We are getting into full action with Wow Wednesday. This week, we're going to be talking about storytelling. You know, humans live by story. I mean, we do, and we all tell stories. But sometimes we need to call on someone who has that special gift for telling a story. So I've invited Joella Aragon to join me for a Talk the Walk this Wednesday night, and to talk about storytelling in general and how storytelling is different in different cultures. When I tell a story, I come from a fairly intellectual point of view, whereas Joella goes into that whole storytelling environment. And so we're going to talk about that, and I'm hoping I can convince her to tell us a story. So we have the community meal at 6, and the event starts at 7.
Yes, it's going to be wonderful because Joella has some wonderful stories to share.
She does.
So I got to be checking that out with you. You know, many years ago when I was first on my journey on the spiritual path and I was part of a community, I remember the minister at the time, after I had taken some classes and did some volunteering, invited me to consider running for the board at that time. And I said, not me. However, there was something that he said that let me remember how that can help me grow spiritually and make a contribution, you know, bigger than myself. And we have some opportunities, if this is something that appeals to you, to contribute to Spiritual Life Center as a member of our board of trustees. And so we're inviting you to think about that and to pick up an application. We have the applications out in the courtyard as well as online. With our deadline, our timeline is to have those in by this Tuesday. But I invite you to prayerfully listen if you're something that you would like to contribute to what I think one of the most important times in our history, not only as a community but as a world, to help spread these principles to as many people as possible, and you being on the team to help us do that. So if this calls to you, we invite you to get the application, get it in, and so you'll be considered to help us move forward in our journey of making a positive difference in the world. So we invite you to listen for that with that kind of thinking. And else what we have? Oh, heart-to-heart conversations. Yes, we also have our heart-to-heart group that is always soliciting or looking to get information from you based upon questions they ask you, so we kind of know what's on your mind, your ideas, and get your perspective that we can incorporate as a community. One of the things that we do is put that together, compile that information, not only make it available to all of our community, but also our board, as we are moving forward and strategizing how to meet the needs and desires of our community. So your voice is very important. So we invite you to sign up to take one of these heart-to-heart conversations, and you'll be contacted by a member of that team and to set a time to ask you the questions that we really want to get your answers to. So we look forward to that participation from you.
And the last day to sign up is the 31st. And the questions are new this time, so if you did it before, please do it again.
Yep.
So Holy Week is just around the corner. It starts actually next week with Palm Sunday, and then we start working our way towards Easter. We have 2 special services during Holy Week. The first one is our Holy Week Communion. Reverend James and I will be doing this ceremony. We will also have some chaplains, and music will be with Larry and Paula. And then on Friday, we have the Good Friday service, and it is an uplifting service, just so you know. The last 7 words of Jesus, and that's also a metaphysical service, and it is a way to walk through the week to prepare yourself for that spiritual resurrection that we have on Easter morning. So join us for both of those services.
You know, there's that song that the late Whitney Houston made famous, The Greatest Love of All, and a line that says, children are our future. And of course, we believe in affirming that truth. And so we're going to have a youth update from our youth ministry. And Reverend Janee Marth is going to share that update with you right now.
Thank you. Thank you. I bring a warm welcome from all of us in Youth Ed. It's good to be with you today. I wanted to start today with gratitude. We have a new member of our Youth Ed team, Ann Cinnamon, has joined our team. Yeah, she's awesome. And Ann brings just so many beautiful gifts to our kids. She's worked with kids for a number of years, and we are just so happy to have her as a part of our team. So welcome and thank you, Ann. And also, I wanted to mention both Corinne and Joella, who both volunteer here in so many ways, and they have both stepped up to help cover our nursery while we're looking for a replacement. So just a big thank you for all your support, women. Thank you. So at the beginning of the month, on March 4th, Elaine and I took our teenagers down to the Vacaville Unity Church for a one-day mini rally, and it was really wonderful for our kids to connect again. Our two regional officers are from our ministry, Kiki Crawford and Becky McPhee, and they planned the entire rally. And unfortunately, Kiki got sick right before we left, but we were still able to do all the activities that she created, and we had a marvelous time. And this retreat included Uniteens, and Cameron Lawson from our church came to work with the Uniteens, and he just blesses our ministry in so many ways. So it was wonderful, and the kids loved it, and we have the spring rally coming up in May, so it's just around the corner, and our fall rally coming up in November. So I wanted to just mention a couple of fundraisers that we're doing to help support our kids get to these rallies. Again this year, our youth ministry is selling See's candy. So we're going to begin selling See's candy next Sunday, which is Palm Sunday, and on Easter Sunday, which is the following Sunday. You can pre-order today if there's something that you want to make sure that we have, or if you want to make sure we don't run out. Otherwise, we'll have a big selection for you beginning next Sunday. We're also bringing back one of our favorite fundraisers, our jewelry sale. We're going to be holding that the first 2 Sundays in May. And so we are, again, asking for donations. So if any of you are cleaning out for spring and you run across some jewelry that you haven't worn in a long time and want to donate, we will gladly receive that. And I also wanted to say that many of you have been already donating jewelry, and I have all of that as well. And so thank you for that. We really, really appreciate it, and we look forward to just having fun doing this with you all. It's so fun. And I'm hearing rumors that this year they're going to be adding more than jewelry. So I'll have more details for you on that coming up soon. And the last thing I wanted to mention is on Easter Sunday, we will be having our Easter egg hunt for our kids between services. We've been having kids at both services now, and so if you bring your kids early, please stay late for the Easter egg hunt, and if you come late, please bring your kids early for the Easter egg hunt, and have them bring a basket, and we're going to have a lot of fun with them. And we'll be sending out a newsletter this week with all the details on that, so if you aren't signed up for our newsletter and you want to be, you can sign up on our webpage or out in the courtyard. And I just want to thank you all for all the ways that you support our youth. We love you. Thank you.
Thank you. And thank you, Reverend Janee, for supporting our youth program in such a magnificent way that you do.
Such a gift. Remember, there are many activities that foster transformation in our lives here at Spiritual Life Center. So check out the weekly small groups and our other offerings. And to discover all the happenings at SLC, you, of course, can go to our website. If you're here in person, you can go out to the courtyard, look at the bulletin board, and, of course, chat with the ladies at the hub because they can give you lots and lots of information.
Of course, one of the reasons folks come to a community such as this is to make connections with one another. And in a small way, you can make a connection with someone right now. So we invite you to turn to a friend, a neighbor, or a stranger, and just greet them in a way that feels comfortable for you, and just say, "You are marvelous and glad you are here."
And we invite you to stay standing and join us in singing our group song by Karen Drucker today, Stand. Stand. I used to talk about how I wanted to change the world, but I always left it up for someone else to do. That's when I finally realized that I needed to take a stand, and that by changing my thinking, I could change my life, and that's how I could change the world. You ready to join me? Please join me in singing. So let there be peace. I am a stand for peace. Let there be love. I am a stand for love. Let there be joy. I am a stand for joy. We are making a new world now. So let there be peace. I am a stand for peace. Let there be love. I am a stand for love. Let there be joy. I am a stand for joy. We are making a new world now. Let there be peace. I am a stand for peace. Let there be love. I am a stand for love. Let there be joy. I am a stand for joy. We are making a new world now. Let there be peace. I am a stand for peace. Let there be love. I am a stand for love. Let there be joy. I am a stand for joy. We are making a new world now. Let there be peace. I am a stand for peace. Let there be love. I am a stand for love. Let there be joy. I am a stand for joy. We are making a new world now. We're making a new world. We are making a new world now. Making a world. We are making a new world now. Give yourselves a hand and please be seated.
Yes, make a stand. So I invite us all now to, in soul, embody, and speak aloud the words of our vision statement. Spiritual Life Center is a loving, vibrant family that welcomes home all people and accepts everyone, no exceptions. Weaving ancient spiritual traditions with emerging wisdom, we cultivate a spiritual deepening with the divine, each other, and our planet. And now let us affirm how we are all increasing the light in this world through our deeds, through our words, through our actions.
Please join me in singing. Star of peace, all harmful thoughts within me cease, in every deed and word I speak. See the light of the world, the light of the world. See the light increase. Yes, I am a radiant star of peace. All harmful thoughts within me cease, in every deed and word I speak. See the light of the world, the light of the world. See the light of the world increase. Yes, I am a radiant star of peace. All harmful thoughts within me cease, in every deed and word I speak. See the light of the world, the light of the world. See the light of the world increase. Yes, I am a radiant star of peace.
As we move into our time of meditation, let's breathe together. Breathing in and breathing out. Allow the vibration of that beautiful chant to move into the depths of your being. I am a radiant star of peace. Breathe that in. A radiant star of peace, shining peace into the world. In every deed and word I speak, see the light of this world increase. Yes. Breathe that in, deep into your belly. With each breath, relaxing. With each breath, softening, settling in. We're star stuff. We're the light. And we're here to shine. Your peaceful presence lights the world. You are the light of the world. You and me and all people of all faiths. We are how God brings light into the world. And by knowing our own light, we know that light in all. And that's why we gather together in places like this to know and experience our light more fully, the truth of our being, so that we may be that light through our words and our actions, and by simply being. Human kindness, connection, and peace are gifts of the light. Knowing our light, every word, every act is spirit expressing, creating, vibrating through you. Our words have the power to destroy or heal. Let's heal. Centered in spirit, one with the flow. We remember who we really are. When your words are both true and kind, they change our world. Peace begins with you and with me. Be still. Let God be God in you, through you. In every moment, you are creating. We are being invited to create consciously from this place of pure potential, this place of love. Your heart knows oneness. It's where presence arises and joins with the presence of another's heart. Presence meeting presence. God meeting God. You are the light of the world. As we take a moment in the silence, rest here in the light of your Creator, the light of your God, the light that you are. You are a radiant star of peace. Your heart knows oneness, and it naturally shines. Let's light each other up. Let's light the world. Thank you, God. And so it is.
I've heard it said, never underestimate the power of keeping your mouth shut. But if I am going to speak, then let me speak words of love, peace, encouragement. I have always personally regretted when I have said anything in anger or reaction. And so this song is my anthem, so to speak, my affirmation, my commitment to continue stepping into the person that I truly want to be through my words. I will speak only words of love. I will do no harm. I will stand for the love I seek. I will do no harm. I know every word has meaning, so I will speak only love, and love will rise and fill the air, and I will feel it in me everywhere, and love will grow and expand and fill my heart, flow from my hands. I will speak only words of peace, peace within me now. I am calm and I am sorry. Peace within me now. My only intention is to be in peace, and peace will rise and fill the air, and I will feel it in me everywhere, and peace will grow and expand and fill my heart, flow from speak only words of love. I will do no harm.
I will do no harm. I always thought that if everybody sent everything they did or said through that lens before they did it, our world would change in a twinkling of an eye. Well, I'm going to start out by asking Rose to put up a diagram. I'm going to start off my talk today just to ask a simple question. Which of these boxes is different from all the others, and what color is it? You can yell it out. Somebody, blue. Okay, see, it's not a trick question. It's blue. And then there's another photo I want to ask her to put up. And this particular photo is a picture of two young women from the Himba tribe. And the Himba tribe is an indigenous group of folks, about 50,000 in Namibia, South Africa. And there's an interesting fact about that group. They don't have a word for the color blue. It's interesting that, as I was looking this over, that they have various words for various degrees of green. And they showed a picture of what it looked like all the same color green, and there was one that was just slightly different, and they were able to pick it up in an instant. Well, I knew what it was, and I still couldn't tell the difference when I looked at it. So thank you, Rose, for presenting that photo. But here's the point, as I start out this morning, is that our language determines our experiences. It says in the wisdom teachings in Proverbs, the 18th chapter, the 21st verse, that life and death is found in the power of the tongue. And that every word that we speak, we know that can either build us up or can tear things down. I think particularly this is true when we talk about words that we speak to ourselves. There were a couple friends that I grew up with. They were brothers. They lived in the same household, went to the same schools. They had the identical opportunities. And for what I could see, they grew up with supportive parents. None was not favored over the other. Yet one of them went to become a very successful person in real estate business and was considered a model of his community. And the other brother, not so much. He was going in and out of jail and was constantly getting into trouble. And he led a life in what we would perceive to be self-destructive. And I can't really say I knew what was going on in their own minds. We never really know. But both seemed to have their wits about themselves. There was nothing that was really wrong with either of them, for what I could tell. And so I have to ask, what was the difference? Well, one apparent difference is that the words they used to describe themselves, that came out of their own mouths. Because one was always describing himself in a very high way and affirming and speaking positive words about himself. And he had his own affirmation that he would say that I'm a real estate mogul, and that's what he became. But the other brother always seemed to talk about how bad he was and put himself down, and he focused on the shortcomings, what was missing in his life. He seemed to always be a victim whenever something went wrong. And as a result, that became his experience. The Bible has some words in there sometimes important to take in, and I don't take it all in as a literal historical document, but I decided I was going to probably do a metaphysical Bible class for in a few months. But there's a statement in Matthew that says, every idle word that we speak shall be accounted for in the day of judgment. And of course, when we talk about judgment, we're not referring to something in the distant future or some far off place. It's referring to the fact that judgment or the consequences of our life are set in motion by the words we use right here and right now. Our words have power. Our words, they matter. And I think when we change the words we use to describe ourselves, we can begin to reset the direction of our life. Because words influence our actions, and over time, our actions create our life experiences. Now, fortunately, not every word that we speak leads to the action that we have or the experience that we have in life, but ones that we repeat over and over and over and over again begin to create a pattern. But here's the thing we want to understand. When we know the truth of who we are, we understand that God did not make junk, as I like to say. God did not make mistakes. God did not actually create anything. And who and what we really are is the absolute expression of this presence. We want our words then to reflect and to reaffirm that truth of who we are. When I was mentioned earlier that, my son now who's taller than I am, but I remember when he was like a lot shorter than me. And he was going to school, and my wife would take him to school every day, most days every day. And she would ask him this question. It's like, who are you? And she had him repeat over and over again, I'm a child of God, and everything is possible for me. I'm having a great day. And do that day in and day out and day in and day out. And then every once in a while, I would take him to school, and before I let him out, he would say, do you have a question for me? And I had to remember to ask him the question so he could affirm who he was and what he was about. But I know she knew that the words that we say to ourselves about ourselves matter. All through the day, the power of I am is working. And sometimes I would say we make a mistake and maybe out of our mouths tumbles words like, oh, I'm so clumsy. And we may look in the mirror, and sometimes I do that, look in the mirror and say that, as I mature in this lifetime, I'm getting old. And we may see somebody that is maybe seemingly more talented, and we may whisper under our breath, we don't want to say, I'm just average. If we get caught in traffic, we don't want to say grumpily, I'm so unlucky. Because many times we wield the power of our words against ourselves, and we don't realize how it's affecting our future. We want to understand that whatever follows the I am will eventually find us. So if we say, I'm so clumsy, clumsy will come looking for you. If we say, I'm just getting up there in age, the wrinkles start looking for you. If they say, I'm a little bit overweight, the calories come and track you down. It is as though we're inviting them in our life. Because whatever we follow with I am, we're handing out an invitation. It's opening the door, it's giving it permission to be in our life. So sometimes we want to run through as big a list as we can come up with of all the things that we're using to describe and define ourselves. And when we do, we want to realize we want our imagination to be like an angel of God, an angel on our shoulder, and shift our I am not or I am hoping to I am. You and I want to follow that I am, to be in tune with our highest expression of who we are, which is the spirit of the expression of God, which is the divine in you and me. It is that Christ in you and me that is called the hope of glory. We want to affirm that over and over and over and over again until it becomes who and what we are. It's running through our veins. It's running through our consciousness. It's the energetic that we carry. In fact, you can affirm with me if you like, I am magnificent. I am magnificent. I am resourceful. I am creative. I am beautiful. I am peace. I am love. Understand, when you begin to say those words, it begins to stir up the cells in your very body temple. Something begins to change within you because the words we speak about ourselves matter. Not only the words that we speak about ourselves, but also the words we speak to others. They matter as well. They can influence the direction of a life, particularly a young life that's trying to find its way, that's often very vulnerable. There was a young man named Jamal. He had found school to be difficult for him. And he struggled to keep up with his classmates. He felt discouraged and he felt so alone. He felt like an outcast. And one day, Jamal's teacher called him up from class to talk to him and kind of looked him in the eye, and she probably thought she was being helpful. He said, Jamal, it doesn't seem like you're too bright. I don't see how you're going to keep up with your classmates unless you work harder. She was trying to get him to work harder. But the only thing that he heard was, oh, I'm not too smart. He didn't hear the other part about working harder and getting better. He heard he wasn't smart. He heard that he would never be that way. And so in his mind, it confirmed what he believed all along. And he was hearing it from a teacher, and it made it even seem more real to him. So it became a self-fulfilling prophecy. He continued to struggle. He continued to feel like he wanted to give up, and all he could hear in his head is that I'm dumb. There's nothing I can do about it. But then something happened. He got a new teacher one year. And that teacher saw something in him, saw what he really was, and saw what that first teacher may have missed. And she took the time to get to know him. She understood his struggles. And one day after class, the teacher spoke to Jamal and said, I know school hasn't been easy for you. I got you. But I want to let you know I believe in you. You are a smart kid. And I know you can succeed if you put your mind to it. And if you don't believe it, just believe in my belief in you, because I believe in you. And something lit up within him. No teacher had ever, throughout his time, had said anything like that to him before. And some hope stirred up within his heart. And of course, with his teacher's help, he worked harder. He worked smarter. He got guidance from her. And before long, slowly but surely, he began to see progress. He worked harder, and it paid off. His grades got better. His confidence rose. He began to believe that he could do anything he set his mind to, and he did great things. And he says he looks back over his life and the struggles that he had and realizes the power of those words from that particular teacher, that supportive teacher, made all the difference in overcoming the so-called negative words he had gotten before. But it also helped him go on to do even greater things, because that was ringing in his head, and that's what he began to believe. And I believe his story is a testament to the positive words and the impact they can have on other people and the trajectory of their lives when we begin to surround ourselves with people who believe in us, with people who speak words that affirm that belief. There is nothing that we cannot do individually and as a community and as a world. Words have power. They have power when we speak to ourselves. They have power when we speak to and about other people. Words can even move a whole community of folks. We've been having readings every week during this season of nonviolence to honor the work of Mahatma Gandhi and Martin Luther King. And next week is, the end of the season for nonviolence, but, we want to keep that going no matter what we're doing. But each of those gentlemen use their words to inspire positive change in their communities and ultimately even in our world. Just a little background about Mahatma Gandhi is, I think it was in 1930, based upon my research, India was still under British rule. And the people there were growing frustrated with their lack of freedom that they were experiencing. And Gandhi came along, and he was an advocate for nonviolent resistance to bring about change. And he saw an opportunity to make a powerful statement against those who were in charge of their country. So he organized a march along what they called the Arabian Sea back then. And he had his followers come along, and what they did, they collected salt. If you know a little bit about that history, they were under the salt tax, and there's a certain degree of oppression as a result of that. And they began to march along the sea, and soon after he attracted like tens of thousands of people. And the authorities, they didn't like that at all because it was challenging them. And their response was one of violence, and Gandhi was arrested. His followers, many of them were arrested. And the march seemed to be a complete waste of energy and time. But while he was sitting in prison, in jail, he wrote a letter to I guess you would call the ruler of the country. I think they called it the viceroy. And he listed his demands, for the Indian independence, and he called on the British to negotiate with him. And he wrote a letter that was so eloquent, so powerful, so transformative. And ultimately, his words had an impact not only on the people around him who saw him as his leader, but also the fact that they saw him as one standing up for change, to fight for rights for others. But that letter began to circulate throughout the world, and it got international attention, and people around the world began to support his movement for independence. And ultimately, to make a long story short, they negotiated a change, and the salt tax was abolished, and a number of other things took place after that. This victory gave the folks there hope and showed them they could achieve their goals through that nonviolent resistance that he advocated. But the point is that our words matter. Our words have the ability to transform a mind. They matter in Martin Luther King's journey in the early 1960s in Birmingham, Alabama, that was deeply divided. It was a segregated city, and he and his leaders saw an opportunity to bring attention to the issue and organize a series of peaceful protests, organize a series of demonstrations. And of course, the authorities there, not unlike what happened in India, responded with not nonviolent ways. They used dogs and hoses to disperse the crowds as they were going forth to present their case. A number of people were injured, even a few people were killed, and Dr. King was arrested. He was placed in solitary confinement where he had time to reflect on the situation. And after deep reflection, he wrote his famous letter from the Birmingham jail. And he outlined the reasons for the civil rights movement during that time. And he explained why he believed it was necessary to engage in those nonviolent actions, that nonviolent resistance. And he spoke of his hope, and he spoke of his vision of possibilities for the future, and a belief that change was possible. There were some powerful words that he had written that circulated to many people and had a profound impact on the movement around that time and around the world. His letter was published in newspapers and magazines and was read by millions of people. His words galvanized support for that movement and showed people that change and transformation of a society was possible. And eventually, that Birmingham situation was transformed, and the authorities agreed to negotiate with him and his leaders. And changes were made to improve the lives of folks in that community. And his words helped inspire not only the people around him, but to help change and inspire people all over, and still do to this day. The whole thing is that words matter. And when they're divine words, they truly matter. They matter because our words create our worlds. The words we speak are like our songs of our life, the energy of our life. And our life is a direct relationship or correlation to the nature of the songs that we are singing. Or put another way, our life corresponds and shapes itself around that song, around those words. So we want to ask ourselves every day, what song am I singing about today? What does my song sound like? What words am I using? Are these words that are victorious? Are they positive? Are they looking us forward to love and peace and harmony and possibilities? Are we speaking a magnificent future for ourselves and for our world? Are we saying we want to create a whole new set of headlines and news that say peace breaks out. We want to have words that speak about generosity is the order of our day. And we are magnificent expressions of our Creator, and we live from that understanding. And we live from the understanding, oh, there's no lack at all in this grand universe, and everyone can be taken care of. We want to speak those words. We want to protect our consciousness in that way. And we want to speak only those divinely inspired words, words that are life-enhancing and protected. Of course, when we start doing that, we come to places at Spiritual Life Center, we may walk outside and, we're feeling pretty good, kumbaya, I'm uplifted and everything, and we suddenly start getting into the world, and somebody comes up and start whispering in our ear about how bad things are. And did you hear about such and so-and-so? Just some gossip going on. Contrary to popular belief, gossip is not a spiritual faculty. But they want to lower your vibration. They want to lower into that dense way of seeing the world, but we don't have to get caught up in that undertow. When we hear those words, I know if you see the sign when you're driving and they have a line through a turn signal that says no left turn, they have a cross over it. So when somebody starts talking like that, just in your mind, imagine yourself, you're putting a line through it. You hear them and you say, oh, cross that out. The mind is zeroing in on that. They're saying these words that are just, not really helpful, not life-enhancing. You say, oh, cross it out. We don't have to get caught up in it. Our job is to kindle the fire within us through our affirmative prayer, through speaking our word that enhance life. We do not want to say what the surface mind is telling us all the time, because oftentimes it comes from the static and the craziness of the world that is broadcasting. We don't want to speak that. So we don't want to say what we're hearing from that static. What we want to do is listen. Get into that still small voice. Listen to that voice of the universe, the voice of God, the voice of the force that is always bringing us forward. In other words, don't move till you're moved by the Spirit. Do not speak till you're spoken through, till your feeling is such that you're participating in the good that God is, not anticipating God's good, but participating in God's good, which is everywhere present in its entirety at every point in space, in time. It is omniactive, and we're raising ourselves to be one with this presence and participating in high vibe conversations because divine words matter. Peace out. Well, next week we're deep into the Holy Week because we have Palm Sunday, and Reverend Deborah is going to be speaking on Palm Sunday and on the topic of prepare ye the way, and I look forward to being part of that experience next week. And at this point, I just want to let you be reminded that our prayer chaplains that are available, that wear the white stoles. Any prayer chaplains here? Oh, yes, we got prayer chaplains that are available to pray with you immediately after the service in the courtyard. Just look for the white stoles and just go in there. If you want to have something prayed over to kind of help you get over the hump or just celebrate something, they're available for you. And of course, we like to greet all of our newcomers to let you know that you're welcome. And so I'm going to invite any newcomers, anybody here for the first time today? You can raise your hand. Any first timers? First timers? Well, okay. Well, it looks like we're all familiar with one another. And like I always say, if we're a little better today than we were yesterday, we are not the same person. So we are here for the first time in this new consciousness. So all of us are in some way, shape, or form first timers if we've transformed from yesterday to today. So we thank you, all first timers that are here today. Well, this time I invite those who are online that would like to support Spiritual Life Center with your gift offering. You can do so by texting SLC Love to 44321. Just write in SLC, just write in 44321, write in the word SLC. It'll take you to the page that you can give to us, or you can go to our website, slcworld.org, give in other ways, including by mail, because what you give not only supports us, but helps you because you're part of something bigger than yourself. And if you're watching online, on YouTube or Facebook, just like us, comment, share it with someone else so we can spread the word and we can bring a little bit more peace and love and joy on our planet in which we live. And we love you, we appreciate you tuning in, whether you're here live or you're checking out a broadcast later on during the week, day or night. So we thank that presence of you. And for those who are present today, if you are giving today, we invite you to symbolically raise your gifts to the heavens, which is ever expanding good. And if you've given already by mail, electronically, which we encourage our folks to do to make it a regular giving process, just know that you're in the flow of a principle that says you can never outgive the presence of God. And everything we give out, we keep in some way. And you're also supporting a place that is available for those who want to grow, develop, and unfold spiritually. And with that, let's affirm our offertory blessing together. Divine love, as me, blesses and multiplies all that I am, all that I have, and all that I circulate. Thank you, God.
One by one, I wrote down the names of the friends in my life who belong to the same tribe. I don't mean a race, color, or religion, but being united by a common decision and vibe. Deciding in our hearts to be voices for the victory of love, light, and harmony over darkness. We've already won in our minds. The trick is not to buy into the fear that binds our ways, and teach our children to lean on spirit and the truth and trust the dawn and say, knowing in our hearts we're free, voices for the victory of love, light, and harmony right now. We've already won, let's make that clear. The trick is not to validate the lies and fear. We're free. We're free. We're free.
And singing us that song of victory. Thank you so much. And we, at this time, thank those who have gifted us with their tithe and offering to support this community so that we have that place in which others are looking to grow and develop and unfold and to answer the questions of who we are, why we are here, and how we can get there. knowing that we have something positive to offer to this community and the world. We also acknowledge those who have left prayers in the prayer box, because we know we all have challenges along the way in life, some things that cause little setbacks and detours and unexpectancies that maybe our human mind cannot understand. But in those moments, we know that we can release and let go and simply turn it over to the Spirit of the living God. And as we do, we can rest assured that there is a divine and perfect answer to whatever problem that we may be facing, whatever obstacle that we may be going through. For we know that in the mind of heart of pure spirit, there are no problems, there are only divine and perfect spiritual solutions. And our task is, as we affirm and as we pray, is to lift our vibration to be one with those solutions. So we then watch how the Spirit does its work and seeming miracles happen. We know that there's always an answer, and it may come from a direction that we never thought of or imagined. Sometimes it's to our understanding, and sometimes it's just to help us grow and learn along the way. But we know that Spirit is on the field with us always. And we know that there is an answer to the seeming prayer problem or the prayer request that we have. It is done. We're grateful. We're thankful as we go forth doing our part, knowing that Spirit always is there to provide the increase. And so it is, and so we let it be. Amen. I invite you to join in now as we affirm our prayer for protection. The light of God surrounds us. I am the light of God. Okay, the love of God enfolds us. I am the love of God. The power of God protects us. I am the power of God. The presence of God watches over us. I am the presence of God. Wherever we are, God is. I am, and all is well. And now our peace song.
Let there be peace on earth, and let it begin with me. Let there be peace on earth, the peace that was meant to be, with God as creator. Family, all are we. Let us walk with each other in perfect harmony. Let peace begin with me. Let this be the moment now. Let this be the moment. With every step I take, let this be my joy and vow to take each moment and live each moment in peace eternally. Let there be peace on earth, and let it begin with me. Let it begin with me.
Peace and blessings. Have a great week. Remember, words matter, and hang around for the postlude from our music team.
Some days life feels perfect, other days it just ain't working. The good, the bad, the right, the wrong, and everything in between. Yo, it's crazy, amazing. You can turn a heart with the words we say mountains crumble with every syllable. Hope can live or die. So speak life through the deadest, darkest night. Speak life when the sun won't shine and you don't know why. Look into the eyes of the broken-hearted. Watch them come alive as soon as you speak hope, you speak love, you speak. You speak life. Oh, 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 oh. You speak life. Oh, 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 oh. Some days my tongue gets twisted. Other days my thoughts just fall apart. I do, I don't, I will, I won't. It's like drowning in the deep. Well, it's crazy to imagine words from my lips as the arms of compassion. Mountains crumble with every syllable. Hope can live or die. So speak life through the deadest, darkest night. Speak life when the sun won't shine and you don't know why. Look into the eyes of the broken-hearted. Watch them come alive as soon as you speak hope, you speak love, you speak. Oh, you speak life. Whoa, oh, 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 oh. You speak life. Whoa, oh, 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 oh. Lift your head a little higher. Spread the love like fire. Hope will fall like rain when you speak life with the words you say. Raise your thoughts a little higher. Use your words to inspire. Joy will fall like rain when you speak life with the things you say. Lift your head a little higher. Spread the love like fire. Love will fall like rain when you speak life with the words you say. With the words you say. So speak life through the deadest, darkest night. So speak life when the sun won't shine and you don't know why. Look into the eyes of the broken-hearted. Watch them come alive as soon as you speak hope, you speak love, you speak. Oh, you speak life. Whoa, oh, 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 oh. You speak life. Speak life. Whoa, you speak life. Whoa, oh, 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 oh. Some days life feels perfect, perfect, perfect.
All right. Cool. We did it.